Most of them are going to be outlined with other green petals. Green covers up this the background that's not real dry. Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do something quite a bit different. We're going to do a still life with some candles and flowers in time for Christmas. It should be perfect. If you're looking forward to this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. There, just finishing up a little sketch. Really, that's all this is, just a sketch. Probably want a little more red in there, but that at least gets us started. We know we have a red flower up here some way, and then this is more important over here, this white/yellow flower. I think they're probably white, but it's got some yellow in it. So that's the way we're going to paint it. I'm going to do my best to keep a lot of my dark grays that I'm going to be painting while I'm talking rather than just talking. I'm going to do my best to keep those way out of any of this area. I've also got a little bit of foundation medium, not a bunch, sitting on a little top of a cup. And then I've also got my handy mister bottle, which helps. Also, you should be misting your paints and your brushes if you've got any laying down on the table. So you definitely don't want those to dry. There, this is good. Just a nice dark, it really doesn't matter what color, just any kind of gray that you're happy with. There. That looks good. Oh, that's a lot of blue. What am I doing? I don't know. We're gonna mix color on the canvas like that, so it'll tone it down somewhat. But actually, it may not hurt to have a little blue in there. Just not that much. There we go. We do want it, however, very shadowy down here. Now, as we transition up, that's kind of a table, and we may add more, mess around with this later. But as we transition up, I'm going to grab some black, and I may need to squirt more paint here in a little bit, but I'm going to add some black. And I want to have just a soft background here. Just kind of this very neutral gray. Maybe even a little umber to it just to warm it up. You can get some of that, background in there. So now we're going to go ahead and paint in each petal as best we can. Now, I didn't come perfectly around these. Most of them are going to be outlined with other green petals. Green covers up this the background that's not real dry. The green will cover that, no problem, but I was afraid that this subtle, beautiful yellow-green color for the leaves, or the petals, leaves, I guess these are leaves, I have no idea. Anyway, getting sidetracked. I was a little concerned that the color wouldn't come through right. Often that'll happen if you don't get, if you don't get a nice light underpainting to go over sometimes. You'll have to coat it several times, which is what we're going to do with the candle. I'll show you how to do that with the candle, but I want to show you this way with the petals, so you can choose when you're painting. Do you want to take the extra time and like map it out, or do you want to just paint the whole thing gray and then paint your light objects over top? It's completely up to you. Both ways will work, as you'll see, I hope. But anyway, let's just finish these up. Get these little colorful areas blocked in. Just a nice yellow. It's actually very pretty. And we should be just fine to pull our highlights right over these. Once they dry, of course. There. And this is an example. See how it kind of dulls that color down? Now, it is wet, but even if it wasn't, it would dull that color down. I'm okay with that for some of these leaves. There. All right, maybe one more right here. See how I just mapped these in? That's great. And then just a few impressionistic ones, especially up in the top here. Maybe like this, just like that, yeah. A couple of blurry ones. Wouldn't hurt to get them in right now, because you have an opportunity to make them blurry while it's wet more easily. I've got a nice green mixed up here, and I'm just dropping in a few of these green leaves. They're the exact same shape as the lighter colored ones, according to the photos that I've seen. So let's do that. We're just literally just kind of replicating the flowers best we can. And if it's not perfect, I'm totally happy with that, because it doesn't need to be. Yeah, because it doesn't need to be. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, pretty much just pop these in wherever they make sense for the composition. You know, you get a couple here, fill in anywhere you need to. Definitely don't want any white inside here, so cover that up. You know, on the other side, a flower or two, or petal or two, I should say, or leaf. Ignore everything I say. There, that looks good. See how it kind of comes back up in there? Oh, there's a spot. Oh, I like that. You're starting to pull those out, and that makes it nice. Some of them are just quick and impressionistic, and they just don't matter. You got to do that artistic hand flick. All right, let's go with one right here. Kind of comes, ooh, it's got a little spot right there. I like that spot. That's very, very fancy. Okay. Maybe we'll make this leaf, this green leaf. I call the green ones leaves and the white ones petals. It's just because that's kind of what I'm used to. But we'll do that one a little bigger. All right, I'm gonna play around with this, not a whole lot longer, but I will, just for a few more minutes. Maybe a few extras on this side. Now I'm gonna paint in just the little pot that it sits in. You could honestly do any kind of pot that you wanted to. I'm going right, not very big, somewhere like this. I noticed that, probably to save space, right? The pots are always kind of tiny, so we're gonna do it that way. Usually they come in like those plastic ones with the little wrapping paper. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Wherever this is, somebody took a minute and put it in a real pot. I just think it looks a little better for the painting. However, that shiny stuff could be fun to try to paint, so maybe you want to try it differently. But this is, see how you can kind of carve out your other petals? See, that would have been really hard to paint over. This purple would have taken several coats. There. Well, that's nice. That's nice. I'm not really worried about the bottom because the bottom will just be kind of in shadow. In fact, we're going to darken a lot of this with washes and glazes. Very fancy. That's cool. All right, that's a good start to that pot, although it's a little wonky. You can either try to sit here and make it perfect, or what we're actually going to do is bring other stuff, like we're going to have some pine tree stuff down here. So light's going to be right over here. We'll paint most of our light while it's dry, but I will just go ahead and establish the tiniest bit of light showing on this pot right there. Actually, see, I paint more landscapes than still life stuff, but really this needs to be darker here, and then lighter in the middle, and then darker again, and I'll fix that probably once it dries, but just didn't even think about it. There you go, that'll make it look round. Nice, and then let me show you, see, spot right there. That's where it needs to be highlighted. Cool, well, we'll fix that and make that look better later. I'm just kind of waiting on those leaves to dry. Maybe while I do that, I will just take a little red and pop in the red one back here. This one's super sloppy, and I like it that way. It's gonna be good. A little foundation medium every once in a while. Keep this stuff moving. So you can kind of be a little looser, a little more wiggly. Oh yeah, it's way easier, way easier, darker. Because I'm actually going to paint this almost black up here. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense yet, but the vision in my head, I want this to be super dark. Ooh, there's dry paint crusty. I want this to be super dark and almost mysterious back up on that side, a little bit on the top and on the edges, you know. I think it'll look really cool. It'll look good with the candle. Now I've got another soft yellow color sort of mixed up here, and it's very similar to the first one. If it was the same, you know, that'd be great too. But I'm just, now that this is mostly dry, this spot right here is not dry. I don't know if you can see it or not. See how it's shiny? See how that's a little more flat? That's an easy way to tell. But ooh, that color's a little lighter than I was thinking it was. That's all right, easy change. So anyway, what we're gonna do is just reshape the leaves a little. Most of them are probably gonna be okay, but just refine the, oh, there it is. Just refine these leaves a little to make it really pretty. I'm gonna just grab a little more of our medium, make sure it's flowing. Good. See that? You can do this a couple of times if you need to in order to get it just right. You know, you want it to be very opaque. You don't want to see through leaves. Not these. These are very thick. This isn't like some transparent rose petal you could sort of get away with seeing through. Nah, not today. Right over that red one. The red one's behind. Actually, it's not totally apparent that it's behind, but it is. We're gonna make that choice right now. You could do either way. Oh, I like the pink that's snuck in. Blending the two together, very good. That is a really nice thing to have happen. There. For the most part, I want my yellow ones to be over the green ones. Now, from here, I actually got one here that's not indicated. I'm going to do that right now and overlap. So what I'll do maybe is real quick, I just take a little green and I want to shade this one. Watch this, this is good stuff. Shade that one, and once that dries, we'll put another one over top and it'll go back into the distance. So that's the plan. Good stuff. Layers and layers. You can never have too many different layers when it comes to this sort of stuff generally. Perfect. Just a nice, there, nice shape to that one. Okay. Like I said, they don't all have to be the same or perfect or, you know, it just doesn't matter. Anything close is going to be okay. Definitely establish these a little better. Some bumps and wiggles to the hand is definitely useful. See, that just almost automatically happens when you just wiggle your hand. Nice. Of course, we'll pick these out with highlight, but the more you can get established now, the much easier it's going to be later. All right. Nice, good one. Creating those overlaps. This one right back here, off the canvas. There, clearly off the canvas. I like that. I like that. All right, well, I'm just going to keep playing around with this. As you can see, I'm just doing the same thing over and over. And then we will be right back. These up here are actually important. We're going to have some overlapping large ones right here. Like, see how that one pushes everything back? Those are important. I'm going to have another one right here. I think this is dry enough to show you. Right here. I'm going to kind of go up and down with it, and then, oh, right across. That's good stuff right there. Perfect. And then paint that in nice and thick, lots of paint, and then allow it to dry. Perfect, very crinkly. I like that. Kind of a lot of character going on here today. Actually, this one as well. Whoa, where did that white come from? I'm okay with it because it'll just kind of, oh, there we go, melt right in. But let's get that one blocked in. Oh, it's good to have another color in there anyways. And then there's these little tiny ones. I'm not sure why, but like just coming out of the center, there's tiny ones, and we're going to need to indicate those as well. I always have these smaller ones toward the middle. It's starting to look like something now, isn't it? Wow. It was a little scary for a minute. Now it's time to paint the candle in. I'm trying to figure out where I want it. Right here. I want it, how tall do I want it? Fairly tall? I'm going right here. I gotta pick somewhere. I'm gonna pick right there. That's a good overlap of several things. You know, that's important. All right, I'm gonna paint just a little more. You know what that is? A little off, but that's okay. We can easily adjust that. In fact, it's not even time to be doing that. I just sort of got ahead of myself. What I need to do is take a very light color, almost white, just white tinted with something, so it's not pure white. And see, what I need to do is this needs to, just so you know, needs to be a lot shallower, that oval. That's unimportant, thankfully. The only spot where it matters is maybe out on the edges. Hey, it's a candle that's burning, so it's going to be slightly deformed on the edge. That's good. Okay. I'll bring that down as straight as I can just by eyeballing it. Nice big Christmas candle here. That's good. That's good. And then just round it off down there, then fill it in. And what I'll do is I will probably fill it in two coats. Put it on, let it dry, and maybe put another coat on, a little lighter. There. So that way what we'll do, we could have done that with the petals, you know, gone over them several times, which I guess we kind of did, but this is kind of the other way you can do it. Just block it in with light, very light, almost white. That's okay, that's a drip right there. and then work with it once you have that light color down, because otherwise your yellows and stuff won't show up quite as brilliant as they will if you do this. It's worth the extra minute. Now, as you can see, I'm layering up colors on top of this candle, just trying to get some color over it after I got the white in and dry. That's the important part, and dry. There. So now I can come in and punch. And this is because it is dry, I can put my hand on it. That's one nice thing about acrylic. You don't get I'll occasionally put my finger down when I paint oil, but not that much. It's just so messy if you do that. But here, you can rest your hand if you need to. Of course, you don't want to do that too much, or you just get too tight, but every once in a while you may need to. That's all right. Leave a small lip and then pull down. This is that glowing part of the candle. There, that's starting to look good. We're starting to refine this area. That's making a big difference, isn't it? These colors are pretty. Nice, look at that. Very good. And then I've actually got out a little yellow ochre light. Didn't have any on the palette for a while. And finally went and grabbed some. There. Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm just, there's not a lot of explanation here. Just kind of playing around with my colors. Just trying to make it look soft. Make it look kind of like it's glowing. And I transition from that lighter yellow into more of the yellow ochre shades, and that's where it gets really pretty, that transition. Nice. Make sure, again, make sure it's nice and dry when you do this. Well, now that we've got a little bit of a glow happening here, I'm just letting these candles dry before we put our flame in. You see, a little while ago I put just some orange up in here, just kind of as an underpainting, because it wasn't quite glowing enough there. Let's work on this side now. I've got my little flat brush here ready to go. Pretty much just going to highlight, as you would imagine, right in through here. Kind of give stuff. I hate to be so tight here, but I kind of don't want to go too far outside the lines of my shapes here. But anyway, I want to just create a little highlight. Let's see, maybe bring in a little middle section right there. And watch this, maybe wipe the brush. There's not going to be a lot of paint going down. You may need to add a couple layers, but there's not going to be a whole lot. Take that and just pull it like this. Oh, that's pretty. At least get the highlight established first. If you need to warm it up a little more, you can. This is supposed to be a very light, I shouldn't say light, a very pale yellow color, just like this. So that shows that leaf sort of kind of wrapping out that way, and we can go this way and bring this one in. A little less paint, a little drier. It will actually dry very transparent, and you will barely see what I'm doing in a minute. Well, now we're going to do the same exact thing over here to these leaves or petals, whatever you want to call them. Doing it with I would say, crazy red color, super bright red color, something that's not subtle, and that's great. That is nice, just the way it is there. I've been doing a lot, because it's acrylic, I've been doing a lot of finger blending over there. It made a big difference. So we'll keep doing that. It really looks good. Oh yeah, that's it right there. That's it. Let's keep going, maybe right here. Isn't that nice right there? Just get those touches of color. This one doesn't matter as much. It's back in the distance. It's behind all of our candles. And it just doesn't matter as much. Very good. Yeah, I can work with that. I don't even know what this mess is behind here, and I don't think it actually matters. I'm just going to put some color on it. I couldn't tell you which direction the petal's going, and maybe it's better that we can't see the direction of each and every petal always, because then it almost maybe looks too planned out. That's my thought. At least that's what we're going to go with, right? Oh boy. We don't necessarily know how many little plants are back here, maybe one or two. Doesn't matter. Whatever the viewer thinks, that's just right. That's what we want. We're not in the business of correcting people. If they think that it's one way, that's exactly the way it is, and you act like you did it on purpose. There. I don't know, maybe just let that disappear into the darkness there. Going way more sloppy on these. I think it works. Transition to a little more red. Maybe just outline a couple of these just to indicate the feeling of a little light back here, but not near as much. Maybe that one overlaps. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Now we're getting to the good part here. We're taking just a tiniest touch, I mean just tiniest touch, of purple and pulling that delicately around some of these areas that are kind of in shadow. What that does, of course, is, it just creates a beautiful effect of artistic warmth in there that is not actually true. Like, you wouldn't see this necessarily. And that's what I love about it. That's what's great. Do it. That means you should do more of it. So just hit, especially on flowers, just hit around, or even still life paintings, I guess. You hit around the edges here like this one, and you see how it just pops it out? Makes it so pretty. So pretty. Okay, do we want to do, maybe a little bit more of this right here, just soften that section. You want to always be standing back. That's the trick. If there's a trick, that's it. Always be standing back, taking a good look at your work. Make sure you're on the right track. You don't want to overdo. So you have to go back and paint your leaves in a little more. There. That is excellent right there, isn't it? See how, because this is already dry, we were painting over there, now this is dry. You can do this glazing and you won't lose your detail underneath. Some of these advantages with working with acrylics. So there's definitely advantages and disadvantages, aren't there? Let me make sure we don't make that almost starting to look overdoing it. No, not really. It's pretty. I like it. I like it. Maybe a little bit. I can go back and fix that, no problem. All right, now let's take a little blue. You see I had to squirt out a lot more paint. A little blue, a little white, but it's okay, just squirt out what you need, right? And right up here, almost getting dry. Missed that. Now you don't want to mist your canvas unless you know everything is good and dry. Otherwise you could, beat up the paint that's on the canvas. Well, that almost looks like the background. That could be a really good thing. Nice. Create these shadows. Yes, this is a good thing. This is really good. So anyway, we'll play around with this for a minute. Just having fun. Especially a lot of that over here. Create those shadows. This is darker over here. The candle is illuminating this area. We need this area to fade into the darkness. Especially all this. Now I've got to do the leaves. It's kind of the next biggest thing, isn't it? Get those done. There, that looks pretty good. See, just like any other flower painting. There. We still have to do the center bits, which I'm gonna get those in pretty soon, just so that I can kind of see it. You know how you sometimes want to get stuff in just so you can see it for yourself, At least I think I'm not the only one who needs that. There. Oh, that's pretty. Warming it up on purpose right down here. What that's doing is helping that already candle effect to kind of, helping it work on these little green areas too. Oh, that was a terrible way to explain it. Oh, well. You know what I mean. Just going to, there we go, even add some more orange right here. That's actually our yellow ochre light. Very pretty color. The acrylic colors I made just a little punchier than the oils because acrylics tend to dry darker, and so much of the time I find my acrylic paintings in the beginning when I was trying to learn acrylic, they would kind of fall flat. So when we designed the paint line, I said, well, let's make them punchier. So if you haven't already checked out these colors, definitely go give them a shot. I think you'll really enjoy them. Even if you're an oil painter, try acrylics. You might just like them. And it gives you options. And if somebody says, you know, they need a painting done tomorrow and it needs to be framed and delivered, well, you can do it. Do it in acrylic. Not the first time that's happened, that's for sure. There. Not too crazy. It's behind, and we may need to come back with the white and kind of cover some of that, but it'll be fine. Just a little impressionistic touches here and there in these darks. Oops, didn't mean to go for my candle. That's fine. The green leaf areas are not the feature of the painting. They're just not. Over here, maybe, you know, you could spend all day on this, but just a few more minutes on the leaves. We'll move over there, probably do a couple leaves, and then we need to work on those pot. This area down here is really unfinished. There, just finishing up those little dots. That's nice. Now let's grab a little flat brush. Time to work on this pot down here. I haven't really enjoyed it too much. It wasn't done very well. It was done quickly because that's really just what I needed it to be done. At the time, I needed to not mess with it and move on to the next thing. But now, make sure my paints aren't drying out. But now we get a little extra minute here. We can work on it and see the rest of the painting pretty well done. Just figure out the bottom half here. There. The flowers are pretty good though. I think it worked out great. I really do. Considering I've never done these before. And in fact, the candle. Have I done candles before? Somebody remember for me. Have I done them? I don't remember if I've done them. There. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that orange glow. That's what we were missing. That orange glow. Now, on the back side of that orange glow, you hit a little red. Watch this. A little red. Nice. On this side, good. And then that purple is fine, but it's way too dark. It's like black hole. This isn't a landscape. Wow, my paint's drying out. I have not been misting enough. It's not a landscape where you can have those really deep shadows all over the place. I think that the deep shadows, you know, just is way too much. So we need to lighten this tremendously. So there you go. And then down here, I'm actually going to add some wood texture. So this won't be the same color. Okay. Better already, a little lighter. And, you know, I'll play around more with this here for a few minutes. It's kind of a bunch of the same old stuff, isn't it? We're going to use the liner brush and create these beautiful little evergreen needles. This is kind of just a way to round it out. I think make it just look really pretty. Add that extra element of detail, having all this sharpness here. See that? And these are pretty easy to do, so you just flick them right out. Finally we're getting to some landscape stuff. Oh, I know what I'm doing here. And that feels so much better. Now, actually, I didn't feel too out of control on this one. Everything sort of went as planned, and I can say that now that we're done. So you would never want to say something like that. Oh, it's going to go as planned before you start painting. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. There. That's good. Just allow these things to fall right out of the brush. Maybe, you know, another branch here. Don't make them like palm trees. So what you want to do is you want to have a limb. See, this is very important. This is so important. And this counts if you're doing a landscape with a close-up tree that you're doing little branches on. Make sure that you have these little bits sticking out. You don't want just palm trees up here, because this is otherwise the same way you would do a palm tree. But the palm tree doesn't have these little branches that shoot off like this. That's how you make it look like an evergreen tree. Those little things, right? That's just those little things. Very nice. All right, just spend a few more minutes. We will need to highlight, but it'll be done the same way. The very last detail that we're going to add up here is just the little flames. These are not by any stretch the feature of the painting. I'm not going to go crazy. They're just there. The candles already look illuminated without them. So just add them in as that final touch of detail. Keep them a little bit on the soft side there. And I think that's going to be all we need, just like that. Good. A couple of colors. You don't want just maybe one dead color. Several colors, several different orange tones going on in there. But that looks just about right. Maybe one little highlight spot, just a lighter spot, right? Just to make it look like it's glowing is all. Good. There, maybe a little lighter spot right in that one. As I say keep it simple. I think that's probably the best bet for these. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.